Right. That one.
There you are. Here I am.
Right in the chat, and so they know you.
Oh,
Hi,
Marie.
Right, I've got to do something. Oh no, it's all right. You're allowed in now. Good boy. No, that's why I was just checking. Chris has just gone. Is Teddy in there? Hi, Julian, sweetheart.
Hi, Julian.
Yes, the little voice you can hear is the lovely Angie.
It's the best pest from the west.
Pest from the west. Are you arresting me? Hi, Sarah. Hiya, Genuine Creative Art.
Hi, Sarah.
Just giving it a few seconds for everybody to start joining us. But to give you a big hint, this is what we're making tonight. It's called a Pitsy cushion. And we're going to do I'm going to show you how, well, we're both going to show you how to do the blocks and how to make it up. And you can use this method to make a blanket, to make a table cover, to make a quilt cover. Because once you know the pattern, that's it, you'll be well away. Hiya everyone, I can see there's 8 of you ladies, lovely ladies watching. So as I just said a moment ago, the lovely Angie Paisey has joined me this week.
Hello everyone.
I'll flick it over to Angie so you can see her desk, so you know which is which desk. So the one you're looking at the moment is mine. The one you're going to look at in the second is the lovely Angie's. When YouTube decides to bring it up. There she is.
Here I am. There I am. Hello everybody. This is my desk. This is me.
Miss Angie's desk.
Hello Julian. How are you? Jenny Lane. Hi.
Hi ladies. We were all organised tonight.
Yeah, we're all organised.
All organised. No stress, no worries. Just us crafting with you. So that is the lovely Miss Angie's desk. Now Angie's actually I've never made this cushion cover before. And Angie, have you made this cushion cover before?
No, I have not.
Angie's never made it. But what we did do last night was cut our pieces ready, which I will talk you through in a second. So this pattern is made up from 2 pieces. I'm going to flicker over to me to show you what those pieces are and what pieces I've cut, and then I'll flick back over to Angie for Angie to show you her pieces.
Okay.
So let YouTube catch up a little bit, but it's called a Pisty Patchwork cushion cover. That's what we're making tonight. So like I say, this is what we're making. Now, the pieces that you will need, like last week, it's a similar method to last week where we made the blocks. And the lovely Angie did make a mat after, didn't you, Ange?
I did, yeah. I'm using it. It's under my sewing machine at the moment. The purple one.
When we flicker over to you, you're going to have to show your mat because it's absolutely stunning.
I won't go as far as to say that.
It is gorgeous. Hi, Diane, sweetheart.
Hi, Diane.
So the 2 pieces that you will need a square piece measuring at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That is your square piece. And then you will need a rectangle piece measuring at 2 3/4 times 4.5 inches. Those are one I was just thinking about putting it in the chat. Those are the 2 measurements you will need. Now, you might think it is a bit complicated, but it's not. The minute you start getting the hang of where the pieces go and how to sew them, like I say, it's a bit like last week where I had blocks and sewed them together. Though we are doing a different seam allowance which I'll explain in a second. So when you cut your pieces, you will need, now like I say, I've never made this cushion cover before. So the pieces I have, I'll tell you how many you will need, which I didn't really plan for. You will need to mark them A to F. You need to pick 6 different fabrics to begin with. Now, the fabrics you pick will all depend on what you like for starters. Angie, what colours are you going for tonight? Remind me.
Pink dink.
Pink dink. So Angie's going for pinks, and she has got different colours. So you'll need a quarter pack. Yeah, it's called a quarter pack.
Fat quarter.
Fat quarter, thank you, Ange. A fat quarter has 6 different fabrics in, so you can use all that fabric, but it's a good start if you buy a pack of them, which is about £6. It turns about £1 for each fabric, which isn't that much really when you think about it. So you cut your 6 pieces. Now you get your fabrics and you need to label them A to F. That's the only way to do this, A to F. So for your first lot of A's, which you can see I've labelled it, you're going to cut 6 rectangles. And that will be your first piece, measuring at 2 3/4 times 4.5 inch. That's going to be your first piece. Your B piece is 2 squares measuring at 2 3/4 and then 4 rectangles.
Okay, bye Diane. Diane's had to go.
Oh, bye Diane, sweetheart. Thank you for popping in. So 4 pieces of rectangles and 2 squares. Your 2 squares make it 6 pieces. So there's your B. Your C is, again, the same as B, 4 rectangles and 2 squares. So there's your C. There is squares in there. So there's C. D is 6 rectangles. So A and D are the only ones that have got 6 pieces of rectangles. All the rest will have 4 rectangles and 2 squares. Hi, Carla, sweetheart.
Hi, Carla.
So this one will have 4 rectangles and 2 squares. This will be an E. And as you notice, I've put them sort of in order because it's a bit easy to follow. And then F. So 4 rectangles and 2 squares becomes your F. So those are my fabrics. I'm going to flicker back over to the lovely Miss Angie Paisey. She's going to show you her fabrics and the way she's organised. Now, I believe Angie's organised them a bit different to me, but what works for one person may not work for another. So this is
it's quite similar. It is quite similar.
There we are. This is the whole idea of us doing the same project but different ways, really. So it should flicker back over to you in a second, Ange.
All right, sweet pea.
Carl, I can't remember if I said hello, so if I didn't, I do apologise. Hello.
Right, so I don't know if you can see my mat. I'll show you my mat now.
Yes.
There's my mat. It's a bit rough around the edges, but I enjoyed making it. I did it alongside Colette when she was doing her live. It has come out a little bit wonky, but it was my first attempt. So, yeah, I like it. It's a bit different, and it's not pink. It's definitely not pink. And I'm using it to put my sewing machine on. Right, so my fabrics are A. So I've got 6 rectangles.
Yeah.
A. This is B. So I've got 4 rectangles and 2 squares. C. 4 rectangles and 2 squares. D. 6 rectangles.
Yeah.
E. 4 rectangles and 2 squares. And F is 4 rectangles and 2 squares. So that's my little piles. So I know what order they're in. And yeah, so that's how I've done mine.
So as you can see, Angie's put it's a bit different to the way I've laid it out, but whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Because like I say, the pattern repeats itself, and you'll notice that it's a lot easier if they are sort of organized A to F for you to be able to do the cushion. And that's why I said to the lovely Miss Paisey. Right, now the next bit we are going to do, I'm going to flick it back over to me, Ange.
Yeah.
I can't see the chat, but I did see how everybody was commenting on your beautiful mat, which is stunning.
Thank you very much.
It is stunning. So those are your pieces. Cut all your pieces out and you're raring to go. The next thing you're going to do is, don't worry about the backing. We haven't cut our backing out because we're going to do that when we know how big our front is going to be. So we haven't cut the backing as of yet. But the pattern that I'm following it from, so the inspiration I got it from, is a magazine. And the magazine says the backing is 25 inches times 30. But me and Angie haven't cut our backing. Angie, have you cut yours?
No.
No, you haven't cut that. Because we're going to do what's called an envelope back. We'll explain a little bit in due course what that is. Anyway, so once you've got your pieces cut out, I'm going to move my mat. This is the pattern. So it's made up of 4 rows. So you're better off writing this down if you want to give this a go, because then you'll find it a lot easier to follow. So
that's what I have to do.
Yeah, and you wrote it down, didn't you, last night? And I wrote mine down. And even though I'm following it in the magazine, I thought if you ladies wanted to give this a go, then it's taped to the mat and you're going to see what pieces we're picking up as we go. So this is how you do it. So you've now got your pieces cut out, you've got your pattern. Like I say, it repeats itself. So you know how last week we did rows to make the mat? By rows, I mean this would be 1 row, that would be another, and then that would be another. They're called rows. So it's a bit like last week. So row 1 is 1 rectangle A. You would take your A. 1 rectangle B. You would take your B. And you would gather those 2 together. I'm going to do row 1 and 4 with you guys. And Angie, you're going to do 2 and... Wait, no. 2 and 4? 2 and 4? You've got a pattern there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. I'm going to do 1 and 3, and Angie's going to do 2 and 4 to show you how she's following the mat. So, put your sides together. Now, this pattern takes a 5/8 seam allowance. There's a bit of a trick to how to do it. So, get yourself any tape. This week, I've been learning about tips and tricks on a machine. And one of the tips and tricks I picked up was this. Let me show you. So, I don't know, it'll usually might catch up in a second. I'm hoping that it will. And move, collect. And that is my golf ball on my wheelchair that you guys can see. Right. So one of the tips and tricks is on your plate, on your sewing machine, you'll have numbers. And I said to Angie, says 5/8, and she went, oh, the heck am I going to do a 5/8 seam allowance? And you were a bit nervous on how you were going to do it. And I went, yeah, well, how am I going to do it? And I was nervous. And then I remembered this little tip. So take any tape and find your 5/8 on your machine. Now, any machine will have a 5/8, a quarter. Sometimes it has half. It all depends on your machine. But it will have it written on your plate. Take your tape and put it on the 5/8 mark and tape it. That's going to become your edge. So when you're sewing, you're going to sew the short side. When you're sewing, you're going to put your fabric up against that short edge for you not to go. It's not going to make it less than 5/8 and it's not going to make it more. And then you begin to sew them together. So this is A and B. And I'm going to just go back stitches on the top. And Angie is doing this with me, so you might hear her machine as well. There she goes. There's a machine. So the next piece the pattern says, which is there, there's A, B, 1C rectangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the seam allowance that we've just created. I know I'm not making any straight sense here. Take the seam allowance that you've just created and put it flat and fold this back on itself. So this is completely flat. And we're on 1C rectangle. So go down your line where however you've done this. It could be like Angie's done it, labeled them all, or could be, you know, in just another straight line. Just depends on how we've done it. Pretty sides together, and we're going to do 5/8 down this edge, and then we're going to do 1D rectangle. So we'll do 1C first. How are you getting on, Ange?
Yeah, I'm just doing it. It's what you're doing.
Oh, and I have got, Angie's really intrigued by, you know, Ange, that quilter's tape. I picked up some quilter's tape.
Yeah, I don't know what that's for.
I went shopping with Miss Rhian and Mrs. G in the week. I picked up quilter's tape, and Rhian said, "What is quilter's tape?" And Angie said the same thing. So I'm going to show you guys how to use quilter's tape tonight. Hi, Sue, sweetheart. So we've now got 3 pieces. So I'm going to join the last piece on, which is D. So I'm going to go down my list. A, B, C, D. And take the D piece and then sew 3 sides together, 5/8 of a seam allowance. And that's all it is. And the pattern will repeat itself. So this cushion's made up of 8 rows, and we're on the first row. Okay, so now what we've done is we've created our first row. That's your first row. That's what your first row will look like. So I didn't forget to put my iron on, but I'm going to do it now in a second.
I haven't done that either.
I forgot to do it. I was all organised. I forgot to put the iron on.
I have. Guess you have?
Yeah, I have. Guess who left her iron on last night?
Oh no, not again.
Oh, I'm really bad when it comes to this iron.
Naughty.
My word. Right. Take your seam allowances. And then we're going to split them. We are going to part them a different way after, but we're just going to split them from tiny.
I'm just following you, all right?
Yep. Angie's following me. And like I say, I've never made one of these. Angie's never made one of these. You're a woman. You're a one-woman fire risk class. Well, yeah.
Definitely.
Dangerous when it comes to that iron. Right, that's your first row. So we're now going to go to row B, which
row 2.
If Angie gets stuck, she'll say, "Clark, help me." But I don't think she's got the pattern. I'm going to flick it over to lovely Ange, and I'm going to do it alongside her like she was doing with me. And we're on row 2. That's what we're working on.
Yeah. Always check your plugs before you go to bed, Colette. Mind you, I have been known to leave my glue gun plugged in overnight. That's from Gillian.
Yeah.
Yes, Colette. I think personally you need to give that job to Chris. So that's his last minute checks before he goes to bed.
Well,
make sure your iron's switched off.
And you can never guess whose job it actually was before it was mine.
Oh, okay. All right, then we need to go back to it. So now we're going to do row 2.
Row 2.
Right. So I've got mine written down. I don't know if you can see it. But obviously I can't leave it on there. So I need 1 E square and 1 F rectangle. So I'm going to get those two now. So I got row E.
When
it's right, isn't it?
Yeah, square.
That's the square. And 1 F rectangle. Complicated, isn't it? It's all right once you write it all down. Once you've got it, it's I found it a bit difficult in the beginning to follow. So yeah, I drove her a bit ditzy last night. So we're doing a ditzy cushion, and then as you can see on my machine, I've got my 5/8 seam allowance. So, and I've also blocked off my light because it was shining down on the plate, so you couldn't see what I was doing.
And the pattern repeats itself. So even though it is when you first look at it and go, oh, I don't know whether I want to go into any of that.
I know. So that's the first one. They're quite wide seam allowances, aren't they?
They are, and that's one thing you noticed when we were doing it last night.
So the next one is an A rectangle, which is joined to this rectangle. So I need an A. Good fun.
Yeah, because it's just like, what did you say it was last night? A puzzle. That's what Angie said it was.
So it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this one now. Oh, my machine's not liking that. See, it always goes wrong when I'm on live.
You're all right. I'm on time.
I didn't like that for some reason. Isn't that weird? You can sew all day long, and then as soon as you go on live,
it goes well.
Listen up.
Last week was that for me.
Was it? Right, let's try again. Tape's coming off. Right.
So I'm doing it alongside Angie. While she's saying I'm doing, we're on the same part. And what tape? I'm using masking tape for my machine. And what tape did you use, Ange?
I'm using what's it called?
Tacky tape? No, it's not called tacky tape. What's it called?
Oh no! Everybody help!
What's it called? It's not called tacky tape. No, it's not called Scotch tape.
It's called. Someone will say it in a minute.
I know. I can't think.
Oh my god! I'm having a brain fart.
Oh, what is that? It's not called tacky tape, but you know what I'm trying to say.
The low adhesive stuff.
Yes.
Oh my days. It's in there. Anyway, so then the next one is I've done the A. Now I got to do a B rectangle, which is this one. Join that. What's it called?
I don't know. And washi tape.
Washing, there it is.
Thank you, Julian, sweetheart. We've been here all night.
Oh my goodness.
Now you know how I feel every time.
Yeah.
The word's wrong.
Because every time you say tacky tape, I think, no, it's not. It's washi tape.
Oh.
It's that one. See how quick it is. Well, that one's a little bit longer, that piece of material. No, it ain't. And then after what have I done? B, and then it's C, a C square. So you've got a little square there on that end, and you've got a little square on this end. C square. Put the two together. Like so.
They do have a tendency of moving.
Yeah.
So as long as you keep them on tape, and you went away.
And that is row 2.
Row 2. and
I'm going to go around and cut all my threads off and everything. Okay, Fred.
And your seam allowances and massage.
Huh?
And your seam allowances, or are you going to do that right at the end?
I'm going to press them at the end because I haven't got my ironing board out yet.
No. Well, if it wasn't
so keep it in the order that you actually stitched it in as well when you're laying them all together, so we know that is rectangle, it goes that way, and then we know that I started with that one going that way. Do you see what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I'm glad you do. Anyway,
I'm gonna
so that's the second row.
That's the second row. So I'm gonna do row 3, and then I'm just gonna do row 4 with you guys. I was just thinking that is a wide seam allowance, isn't it? Over ½ inch.
Yeah.
It's wide seam allowance. You could make your seam allowance smaller, but I think if you do, it's supposed to be a 14-inch cushion cover. That's what your front piece will end up looking like. You'll end up looking a 14-inch. You could make them smaller. To make them smaller, you would obviously have a bigger piece, but it's totally up to you. Like you say, I've never made this piece before, and I was following instructions from the magazine, so we'll see if their instructions are correct. So yeah, but yes, it is a wide seam allowance, Pisty, and we thought that when we were looking at it.
Yeah.
So row 3, this is what I'm on. So 1D rectangle, so A, B, C, D. I'm still got to go down the list because otherwise I'll forget where I am. There's D for me, and I'm sewing that to E. D, A, B, C, D, E rectangle, and I'm going to cut mine a bit. I'm going to go around cutting mine out later. So I'm going to leave the pattern up for you guys to see the pattern. I'm going to stitch this because you'll be able to make the pattern and put it down onto your pen and paper pad. D, what was D is this way. A, B, C, D. No, D is that way. Right, so D is F is next. So F goes on there, and I did muddle these up. So that one's an E square and an F triangle.
Sorry?
Just to let everybody know on the pattern, you'll see a scribble, and that's only because I muddled it up. The top one was E square. So what I'm doing now is I've done, that is D, that is E, and this is my F piece triangle. So I'm going to sew the F piece.
Rectangle, yeah?
Rectangle.
Rectangle. Straight
on, what did I say?
Oh, I missed the memo then. I thought, what? Are we doing rectangles?
What did I call them last time? I called them something else.
Oh, tell them what you were originally thinking of doing.
Oh, a hexagon. A hexagon pen. I gotta show you. I was originally thinking it, and then I had to read the pattern, and then it said you've got to stitch each individual hexagon on. It's doable, but not on a live. Not on a live. No one have not done it.
Not on a live. Not with me anyway.
Right.
Imagine that.
I'll show you what the hexagon one was in a sec. So the next one is A, and I'm leaving the pattern up for you guys to see what the pattern is while I'm sewing row 3. So A is going to go on to my F, and I'm going to stitch that, and then Angie's going to show us row 4. Yeah, hexagon. I was thinking of doing.
Yeah, I said if we do that, if we'd have done that, I'd have probably ended up never coming on the live ever again. I've been banned.
Oh, it was like, do you think we should do a hexagon shape?
Are you having a laugh?
There you go.
I've got a job sewing in straight lines.
Let me show you what it is.
I think my glue gun's trying to tell me something is just fallen in the bin.
That's the hexagon. That's the hexagon laptop case, and I was going to make that into a tablet case. Was my idea.
Yeah, you can do that next week.
Like, oh, no. And I was reading it, and apparently it's called English. What's it called? There's a thing to it. English something. English paper piecing. That's what it's called, to piece each hexagon onto it. It's a bit complicated, and it's not something I would do on a live.
Not with me anyway.
Oh my word. I was like, no. Right, done all my row. Now I'm going to do my seam allowances. And we're going to flicker back over to Angie to do row 4. So spread your seam allowance open. We're going to move these seams in a second, but we're going to spread them open just for now.
I don't know if you can see row 4 from where. Let me have a look on my camera so you can see that. Yeah, I think you can.
And then I know there's one piece there, this piece.
Oh, yeah, I don't think, no, actually, accuracy. It's not usually me trying to cut these bits of, I have made some a little bit wide, but and then I got my guillotine out and started cutting on my material with that.
Yeah, you've got to tell everybody what your tip is when it comes. I'm going to flicker back over to you. Tell everybody what your tip is that you found out just by like your brainwave. Tell everybody where your brainwave was.
Well, I was trying to cut it with the rotary cutter, the material, and I was having terrible trouble because I hurt my back at work. So I was sitting down and like Colette, who struggles to use a rotary cutter because you need to be standing really to get the pressure to be able to cut it properly. I was trying to cut it and I was having a terrible job because obviously I had to sit down. So then I was sat and thinking, oh, if I could just get something, you know, that would just chop it down. And then I was, all of a sudden, this came into my mind. Oh, Colette bought me a guillotine for Christmas.
I did.
It's a small Tim Holtz one, but it's the material went underneath it. So I just used the guillotine.
Yeah. I don't know where that idea came from.
I don't know.
I've never used somebody cutting their fabric with a guillotine before, but what a fantastic idea. Because that guillotine is not big, is it, Ange?
No. I'll get it and you can have a look.
Is it like 8 inches? We are on you, by the way. I forgot to you know that. It's like 8 inches, something like that.
It's a little Tim. It could
be Tom.
It's Tim, or it could be Jim. It's a little one. It's 6 inches wide. It's Jim Holtz Studios, and it's what I like about it as well is every quarter of an inch is like little blocks as well. So I'll show you what I did. I just threaded the material underneath like that. Let me get a spare bit of material I got on it. Here's a bit of material. So can you see this? I threaded it underneath like that. I'm going to get it under now.
You're not cutting your pieces now, are you?
No, this is a spare bit of material.
Okay, don't cut your pieces.
Put it under like that, and I put it to the right length where I needed it, and I went like that, and I went like that, and it chopped it off. Couldn't believe it.
No, I've never. That's a real good tip.
Yeah, I mean it's only fine cotton anyway, but
yeah. And the thing is, it's like Angie say, I can't stand up, and I don't know who said it. It was on one of the lives, and somebody said your blade is blunt. Well, it's not the blade; it's me.
Yes, the pilot error.
I can't put the pressure through the guillotine through the cutter, whatever it's called, rotary cutter, to be able to cut it.
No.
Oh, Carla says she'll watch again later, ladies. Can't stay tonight. I'm going to tend to my mom. Sadly, she's lots of attention. Oh, no, sending all our love.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, sending lots of hugs, Carla.
I hope that she's okay. I know she's fallen, so she'll probably be sore, but I hope she's okay and that she isn't requiring like urgent medical attention or anything like that. I hope it's like a cup of tea and some nice natter with you and sending all our prayers and love.
Right.
We're on row 4.
Okay, row 4.
Yes.
I don't know if I leave it there, you might be able to see it. So the first one is 1 times B square, and you join it to 1 times C rectangle. So I've got, this is my B square. I need to find my, what was it? C rectangle.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to join it.
I'm going to join it.
Just like that.
And I've been up to a couple of projects this week that I can share with you. And
oh, goodness.
Yeah, Angie's been up to a one project.
Have I?
Yeah, you should.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll get that out in a minute.
See?
Later on.
We can show you guys the projects because it's nothing to do with the swaps.
Yeah. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Right, and then you've got to open up your edges and press them out like that. I'm just finger pressing them for now, and because I starched the material anyway and ironed it. The next one is 1 times D rectangle. So I'm going to join the D rectangle to that one, which is that one. Like that. These ones, the first ones I did with a rotary cutter, they're a little bit bigger than all the rest because I couldn't get it really accurate. So as you can see, it is a lot bigger there, but I will trim that down. Yeah, I was having terrible trouble with the rotary cutter because I just couldn't get the pressure because it hurt me back. So
you were doing work, didn't you, Ange?
Yeah, lifting a box. Stupid. Wasn't lifting it. It wasn't that heavy, but as I lifted it, I twisted round.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is totally out of shape, this one, but I'm going to trim it because it's totally out of shape. If in doubt, chop it off. See, that needs trimming down there as well, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it at the moment. I can so far faster than this. I'm going to speed it up a bit. I can do straight lines fast. Oh, that's a little bit too fast. Come on. Yeah, and that's that one done. What happened there? And then the next one is E rectangle. Finger press it down. I will trim this one up because it's definitely just don't look right, this piece. Gone all wonky. I'm just still going to go with that.
Yeah, just go with it.
Just go with it. So that was D. Now I want E. And I'm going to line it up with the one before. So take the notice of my bodging.
What I might do is, once you finish the last, what I'll do is I'll put the pattern in the description bar so you can follow it. Because once you've got the pattern, you're well on your way to making it. And you know, you don't, once you've got it written down. So that's what I'll do. I'll put it in the description bar once I finish. The
last piece is the F square, which is this one.
Now, like I say, this cushion does take 8 rows. So what me and Angie did last night was we made up 4 rows last night. Made up 4 rows last night, and we've made 4 with you because you make 4 and then you go back to do 5, 6, 7. Can't remember exactly.
And just so you know, ladies, from this moment on, I have no clue. I'm following Colette.
Yeah. And I'm following a magazine, so we might go wrong. Oh, lift and twist increases the strain on your back, something silly like 300%.
Yeah, I know. I suffer with sciatica and I should have known better. But it's one of them where you just think you're invincible. And when you hit the age of 60, People keep saying, slow down, and I think, so I'm all right. But yeah, I really did hurt my back. But never mind, it's my own fault. But it's okay. It's a lot better today.
So you'll have 8 rows. Once you do row 1 to 4, repeat the pattern until you get 8 rows. And then, yeah. So let me know, Angie, when you are finished then.
I'm finished, sweetheart. I'm absolutely done. I've done them all.
So I'm going to flick back over to me now because I've got the next step.
It's gone on wonky. Why has it gone wonky? Oh, never mind.
Do you mean your pieces have got what do you mean by wonky, Ange?
Oh, it's gone on wonky. It's all right. Don't worry. It wouldn't be mine if it wasn't wonky.
Right. So as you're doing the rows, what I found was put them face down, and as Angie says, to remember what piece is the first piece. What Angie did, do you want to tell them what you did about the pin?
What pin?
Or peg. I thought you were going to put a pin or a peg in the top, so you knew that was the first.
Oh yeah.
Stitch. So what?
Yeah. Go on then. You tell them.
Oh, okay. Angie took. I don't know whether I got them now. Angie took one of these pins. I think. She thinks. Might be wrong. And she put a pin at the top to know that when she flicked her rows back, she knew that was the very first piece she sewed. So you do rows 1 to 4, which is what we've done. And as I'm doing them, I put them face down on the table. And then you go back to row 1 to do 5, 6, 7, and 8 until you get 8 rows. They all should be the same length, and they all, because they, like I say, some are made up of squares, some are
rectangles.
All be rectangles. Thank you very much, Ange.
Right.
Right. So those are my 8 rows. I'm going to flicker back over to this. Now this is where I've got the next step. So I'm going to take our iron, and this is just for a nicer finish when you're putting your cushion together.
I'm just going to get my iron out on my ironing board.
Yeah. I'm going to take my cloth. Please forgive me that the cloth isn't very oh no, I got a nicer one. I was going to say the cloth isn't very clean because I use it mainly for crafting, and that goes with like painting or anything like that. But it's quite thick, that's why I won't get rid of it. Right, so there's your, I use tea towels, it's a lot easier. So as you do each row, put them flat down on the table so you know where they are. So take your first row, and we are going to move all the seam allowances to the left. So you run your iron over. Bear in mind, all the fabrics now it's been sprayed with starch before we began, and then we did it off camera. And just spray it with spray starch, and you steam press, or if you haven't got a steam press iron, just line it over a few times. There's no water in here, I don't think. Oh, there is. So all your seam allowances need to go over to the left. Right, so there's one. Put that face down over there. Take your next row. Now your seam allowances need to go over to the right.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm doing, Ange?
Yeah.
Oh. And I can. This one's the right. These seam allowances are right. Just going to run it over the iron a few times. So let me show you. You'll have, it looks something like that. One seam allowance will go one way, one seam allowance will go the other way. It makes for better sewing when you join your rows together. Put that to the left. to the side, one side of you. Take your next row. Now your other seam allowance needs to go towards the left, and you repeat that process till you've done all the rows. But we spread them apart right at the very beginning to make sure A, our stitches were together, and B, because the magazine told me to. Right, that's it. To the left, take your next row and do it towards the right. Are you okay, Ange?
Yeah, I'm over the other side of the room. I'm doing my ironing.
Oh, she's doing her ironing. She's busy doing her ironing. These are going to go towards my...
I've got to go one way and then the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes it easier and neater when you come to sewing it all together.
So, even though I press them all open, I've got to press them all...
Go the opposite way with them. You press them open to begin with to make sure, where did I go? Right, left. Make,
all right, sweetheart.
Yeah. You did them to begin with to open the seam allowances to make sure that your stitches have caught your two fabrics. Yeah, exactly. This is going left. And my next row will go right. And I would flick you over to Angie, but as Angie says, she's the other side of the room, bless her. I'm trying to iron. You need to get one of those, have you seen one of those miniature stands you can get, Ange?
Miniature what?
I know you've got a travel iron, but have you seen those miniature stands you can get?
Yeah, I've got one of those, but I just find it difficult because I've got my sewing machine and everything on the desk, so...
Yeah.
It's easier just to stand at the ironing board. I don't know if you can hear me, but yeah.
I can, yeah, we can hear you. This goes towards the left-hand side. And we're on the last one, which will go towards the right-hand side. Camera's just steamed up, I expect. So just the iron is not far from the camera. Right. So you should have your rows or your seam allowances will be facing the opposite way. And that's only because when you come to sewing them together, like I say, your it'll make for better sewing and it won't be so bumpy and lumpy. So
I've done it.
Angie's done that. I've done mine. So I've got from them face down. I'm going to move this out the way a second. So we are going to take, I'm going to lift them the other way. We're going to take row 1 and we're going to take row 2.
Yeah.
Facing the wrong way. The seam allowances are facing opposite way. And we're going to put the pretty sides together. And we're going to do not a quarter. We're going to do we're going to do the 5-inch seam allowance. Now it will go in a bit, but like I say, this is supposed to be 14 inches, but we'll see. So
we'll see what mine will be. Mine will be, could be anything by the time I finish.
So it's from, we're doing the long end. So this is why your seam allowances go facing the wrong way. It makes for just better sewing. Line it up to the edge of your fabric. Mine's a bit wonky.
Mine's very wonky. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 5. So it's you stitch that all the way down, yeah?
Yeah, down on one side.
Yeah.
I might use some pins actually to keep mine in place. I think get them out. Yeah, there you go.
Five eighths. just seems such a big seam allowance, doesn't it?
Oh, it's supposed to be 14 inches. You could do a smaller seam allowance. Modify it, I suppose.
I reckon that's a typing error.
Now go with it, and then
don't worry.
No, that's what I mean. I'm going to go with it and just see.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it too. We're in it together, girl.
We are indeed.
Gideon's got sciatica. I know it is painful. But the thing with sciatica, what they say to do is they say rest it for a couple of days and then get up and move. Well, that's what they say, isn't it? Because they haven't got it. But
take this pen out.
5/8 is large seam for quilting. Yeah, it is, Dawn Marie.
It is. You're right. It is.
We're not quilting though, are we?
No, it's patchwork, yes, quilting, I would say, but we're not making a quilt. Usually it would be 1/4 of an inch, but for whatever reason, the pattern is telling me 5/8. That's what the pattern's telling me.
Right,
so that's what the 2 rows will look like. So you take your next row and you join it. Now this is where
I'm going to flatten it out a bit.
You join it to
Mine's very stiff.
30 sides together. It's supposed to be 14 inches when it finishes, which I can see it being actually, because if it's a 5-inch seam allowance, yeah, that would make sense why it's, yeah, I can. Right, pretty sides together. So you're doing, bringing your row 3 onto your 2. You're laying it as flat as you can be. For whatever reason, this is a little wonky. I'm going to just try and my best. Slide him up.
What you can do, girl. Try your best. That's all we can all do.
So I'm going to do 4 rows, and then Angie, I think Angie will know what to do with the last 4 rows. Do you know what to do, Angie?
Yeah, mine's not looking too good. Mine's a bit dodgy.
I'm going to flick up you over to the sewing machine now so you guys know what I'm doing. I'm going to backstitch it, and then I'm going to just run it through on the machine. I can see this being 14 inches. That's it. And then I'm going to take row 4. Looking how it's supposed to look. Like I say, Angie's gonna do the last remaining rows.
Am I?
You are? You know what you're doing, Ange? Do you?
No.
For 5, 6, 7, and 8, how to attach the rows. It's just how you're attached them.
Right. I've done something wrong.
Why have you done something wrong?
I don't know. I've done it wrong.
Right, I'm gonna flick her over to you. I bet she hasn't.
I have, honestly. I've got these ran the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing I can do about it. I just got to go with it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by the wrong way? Do you seam allowances or the pattern?
The pattern.
The pattern. Oh, don't.
You know, it was my worst nightmare last night. It's coming true.
Don't worry about that. So this is what it'll look like and begin to look like. Because of the seam allowances being this big, it almost looks like blocks, and I think that is why the seam allowance is 5/8, because that is the pattern that you end up with little blocks. So I'm gonna do 6, 7, 8 each row with the lovely Miss Paisey. So that is the start of our cushion, and as you can see on the back, the seam allowances are going the wrong way, and we're going to open these up in a second now. Mine moved. We'll open these up. Right, I'm going to go over to Angie.
Oh, do you have to?
What do you think, Ange? Do you think my pillow cover is looking good?
That's the back,
What
isn't it?
do you think, ladies?
Is that the back of it? Is that the front?
That's the front. That's what yours will look like.
Yeah, but I've sewed all mine in all the wrong places. I've got repeats in the wrong place, but I'm not going to stress over it. I'm just going to cry.
Just cry. What do you ladies think of what my cushion cover is looking like at the moment? Well, I haven't done the other half yet, so I'll do that when Angie comes on. But this is what the picture is giving me. That's what the picture looks like, and that is what mine looks like at the moment.
Yours looks lovely.
I don't know. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Miss Paisey.
Mine looks hilarious.
Right, I'm going to flick her over to Angie. She's going to do the last 4 rows. I like that fabric, Claire. It's very vintage.
It is, isn't it? It's really nice.
Thank you, Julian. Angie said that fabrics I'm picking up at the moment are very vintage.
I did. I said that. You can show me your fabric later on if you want. Only if you want.
What? The fabric I got today?
Yeah, maybe. Getting a nice stash, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'll show the fabric.
So it should be quite simple because it's all straight lines, but I'm very stressed.
Mine is on the back. It doesn't look neat at all on the back, but on the front it looks like blocks, which is what it should be looking like.
Yeah, I'll show the ladies what I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. There, I've got 2 the same there, which I shouldn't have. It should have been the other way round.
Oh,
and
don't
2 the same there. So
that's
it is what it is.
Good.
I can't do anything about that.
That's looking like real good blocks.
I know.
Definitely. De-stash, laugh out loud. I know, Rian, you were with me when I got some fabrics. No, I've been shopping today, Miss Rian.
Well, which one did I just stitch? I can't remember. This one. That's going the right way. That's the wrong way. I think I'm wearing that the wrong way. See what I mean? I'm a nightmare.
Yours is coming really nice. I like the different pinks in it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You know that, Ange, don't you?
Yeah.
CDs go in there, absolutely, but the moment.
My OCDs have gone mental. I'm like, oh no. Yes,
Miss Rian, again, I went shopping with my mum today, and yeah, fixed some fabric. Well, you know, we want to get your girl fabrics and buttons.
It's what we do best, isn't it? Shopping.
Yes.
It's what we was born for.
So are you doing 5, 6, 7, and 8, Ange?
Yeah. Boot scoop, baby, is driving me crazy. This one's a bit short. This one's short. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Apparently mine's not going to be 14 inches. It's going to be more like 12 by the time I've trimmed it all up.
It doesn't matter. Yours is into blocks, which is what the pattern is.
See that? It's too short, that one.
You're all right, Ange. Honestly, go with it. You see, your pattern is the blocks, so you've done the blocks perfectly. Because the pattern is the blocks.
Yeah.
You've done that perfectly.
No, I haven't. I've sewed it on back to front.
I know. That's what you kept telling me the other day, that I was relentless. So then.
I've sewn that one on back to front, so I'm going to have to unpick it now. Oh, this is real crafting, ladies. This is the real world. This is warts and all.
Yep.
Where's my unpicker?
Love
right.
The fabric, and
I might have to go back then.
Love.
Thank you, little Sue. Yeah, we're gonna have to unpick it all.
Right, Angie's gonna unpick that. So while she's doing that, because she's gonna say, turn the camera off while I do it. Take the pressure off her.
I don't mind. You can watch if you want me unpicking fabric.
Well, I tell you what, we will watch it because you don't ever go into a craft room and things are perfect, so
no,
never do it perfect. So you're all right, Ange. You're fine. I love the fact you've gone with pinks, and even though you're saying it's wrong, it's not, because you've got the actual block pattern.
Yeah,
what it's supposed to be.
I know. I got all confused though. It was like, right, okay, I've got to put that one on top of that one, and that's that row. And I think if I did it again, I would mark the rows.
Yeah.
Definitely mark the rows. So I'm going to get a little pin with a piece of paper when I do each row. I know it's probably ridiculous, but it's just like OCDs. It drives me crazy. But it's easily rectified.
The thing is,
we all make mistakes, don't we?
Yeah.
Pharmacist told me once, anyone that ever professes to never have made a mistake has never done anything. So I thought that was a pretty cool statement.
That is a very true statement. Very true. Julian says, it's good that we see how to correct things. See?
Yeah. Good old quick unpick.
Oh, I'm liking this pattern, Ange.
Are you?
Yeah, very much.
Right. Let's sort you out now. Let's get you right. Getting to the end. Getting there.
Getting there.
As you stitching it all
and
up.
you could do this for a quilt. You just repeat. If you make the 4 rows, then you've got the 4 rows to do your quilt.
Well, can you imagine it? Right, there we are. That's off now. And then I put the 2.
You can, Lynn. Hi, Lynn, sweetheart. Lynn says you can work around your mistakes.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yeah, it's very true. So that don't go on there. That goes on there. Or is that the top one? That's the very first one I did. I think I got the wrong row. Got the wrong noots in the wrong jar.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Turn it the other way. Let me see it the other way. I know your OCD's going bananas, right? But
bananas in pajamas.
Turn it so we can see the full. So we can see what you've done so far. Because you're on your last. You on your last row?
No, I just had to unpick one. You see, and then I'm going to do that one there. Or should it be that one?
That's looking really nice.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this one should have been that one.
Julian says, every time I watch Angie crafting, I want to make pink things. My hubby lost the plot, laugh out loud. There is nothing in our house.
I remember once with my late husband, right? I said to him, I want the bedroom. It was peach. I want it painted pink. So anyway, he was like, pink. I was like, yeah, I'm going to paint it pink. So he came in from work and I said, what do you think? He got in bed and he went, everything a man could ever want. He said, a pink bedroom. It's very nice. Yeah, he wasn't impressed.
A pink bedroom.
Pink bedroom. So mine's obviously, right, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do it proper now. Speed it up a little bit. All night otherwise. Double check I got my lines together. And with this, you don't even have to pin it, do you really?
No. Oh, I'm liking this hand.
You like it? You like it?
Very much so.
Oh no, that's the wrong thing. I don't know if you can still see what I'm. Can you see what I'm sewing?
Yeah.
What's that? My gran. My gran. I make them all the time. Just started off with the Tilda dolls. Oh
wow.
Oh, look what I've done now.
What have you done?
Oh.
What have you done?
I can't have that. That's going to have to go flat. Right, that's rectified. Mistake number 15.
You're all right, Ange. You carry on.
I've still got 2 more.
What, mistakes or blah? Rose.
This is the one that's too short. So I'm trying to stretch it. Right, so mine's got no rhyme or reason to it now, ladies. Mine's just gone to pot. But I'm going with it. I'm just going with it.
Yeah, just go with it, Ange. I know he's driving in nuts because block aren't in the way that I wanted it to be. But honestly, it'll turn out.
Make sure the ones underneath are flat. Yeah, they're flat. Stretch this one a bit. I don't know why this one's too short.
I think, you know, I just figured out. I think the seam allowance is big because of the type of pattern it is. 1/4 inch, then it wouldn't look like.
No, I'm not convinced.
I think that's why the seam allowance is big. Because of the pattern. I may be wrong.
Don't matter. Anyway, as long as the seam allowance is the same all over it, don't matter, do it?
No.
That's looking pretty. This one's too short. I don't know what happened there, but I'll have to trim it down. Right. Do it that way. Getting there. Nearly finished, ladies. Half an hour later.
You're all right, you're all right. Sorry, my gran always said if someone says they never made a mistake, they're lying because everyone makes a mistake. Exactly. Want a cup of tea, girl? Lynn, I'd love a cup of tea, please.
Me.
And Angie would love a cup of tea. I'd love a cup of tea. We'll meet you round yours after the live, Lynn. We'll have a cup of tea together.
So they're flat.
How are you getting on, Ange?
Yeah, I'm right on the last bit. Okay, I'm done.
Right, I'm going to flick it over to me. So let me see your piece at the moment as it stands.
Gone all wrong. Yeah. It looks all right though. It looks nice. I like it.
She's got the block. She's definitely got the pattern, which is what the pattern is. I love it, and definitely.
That one there, look, is too short. I don't know what I did, but I'm going to just have to trim it all to that there.
Don't worry about that, because we're going to rectify the edges now in a sec. So don't panic about it being too short. But I like the fact it's different pinks, and it definitely says you. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, yes.
Right, I'm going to flip it back over to me now.
Okay.
Because Miss Angie is worked really hard there since rectifying
mistakes.
So it should load in a second. So what I'm doing is on the back of my work, which is what you're seeing in a second, is I am ironing.
Thank you, Gillian.
It's stunning. It is stunning. She's definitely got the pattern, and I know it's driving Angie nuts because there's certain blocks should be in certain places, but she definitely got it. Definitely got the memo, definitely got the pattern. So what I've done, where we've sewed the blocks together, the rows together, I'm spreading these seam allowances out, and I'm going to iron.
I'll put my iron on again.
Yeah, keep your iron on, Angie. If I was you, I forgot to tell her. I do forget that Angie's following me. And I'm just going to run the iron over these seam allowances to make them a bit flatter. And to help with this process, I have some spray starch.
Oh yeah, I got spray starch somewhere.
And it will just stiffen the fabric out, and it will help keep its shape while I'm ironing it, and it helps stiffen the fabric in order for me to not lose the building block pattern. So you'll need, the next step is you'll need to go around your room looking for some lining. Now, I don't mean the backing piece, I mean the lining. Piece of fabric, it could be white fabric, it could be the same color as you're using on your piece of front. It could be any fabric you want it to be, but it needs to be the same size as your work. So any bit of fabric. I'm just ironing these flat because it will make for better sewing again for when I come to do the next stage. So the pattern, even though it looks complicated, is really not.
Let's leave that. No, it's not. It's good fun, actually. I really enjoyed that.
Right. So this is what my piece looks like. That's what my piece looks like. I'm going to move my iron. And I'm going to move this. I just thought I had all the pins then. Right. So I'm going to take this pattern off. I have left it on as long as I can leave it on, but I'm going to leave my cutting board to cut my fabric down a little bit. So as you can see, this is what makes those patterns. This is what makes the blocks. But as long as you've got them for patterns, you can make this into a complete quilt. You could even add, you could even make more pieces and add them on at the edge. It's just the projects and the way you can go about doing it is endless, completely endless. Thank you, ladies, for your lovely comments. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to take my rotary cutter. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to find the line on my mat and I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm just going to line my edges up.
What, and trim them off?
Trim them off.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do now.
Move this up. Come on, there, that's that side. I'm going to move it over to the side. I'm going to do the same. And then the next step is to get a lining. Now, like I say, you can use the same fabric you've used on the front to line your cushion, because this is going to be a cushion cover, or you could decide to use white for the inside. So this is in the back, this is just the lining. What I'm going to do is the next step. Can't put pressure through it. Right, there's that side. I'm just going to turn it around to see if I've got to take any raw edges off this edge.
So what are we doing, a lining?
Yeah. So any fabric.
So this is going, this is not the outside, this is going inside, yeah?
The piece that, the lining is the inside. It's going to be the backing, if you will, for the piece that you've just made.
Right.
So you could have white cotton, you could use the same fabric you've used on the front, anything.
And then have we got to make another square as well after for the back?
Yeah, the back is not a square because we're doing an envelope cover.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, sort of. Please say I'm just. There. Move this up. That's moved.
Which one?
Just going to use my scissors. Right, so there's my front piece of my cushion cover. And that would be your piece. Now I'm going to get some, I bought some white cotton and I got this lovely ring today. What did I do with it? I don't think I did put it away. Oh, I did get some, I know I did. I don't think I did put it away. What did I do with it? What's... Oh, here it is. Got you. Right. My cotton. So I'm going to stretch this out because this is all folded. Move this piece, light it up a minute, and I'm just going to lay it flat. And I'm going to use my pins, pin it, and then I'm going to go around with it with a scissors to begin with, and then I'm going to use my blade and cut it. Pin there. So are you using white cotton, Angie? Are you using your fabric?
I'm just using lining, actual lining.
Oh, you're using lining.
Do you think I should use cotton?
It's up to you. I know the lining you're on about. You could use that lining if you wanted to use that lining.
Yeah, it feels a bit naff. I'll get some cotton.
I'm going to go down those edges again now. I'm going to take my pins out because they always get in the way when I'm sewing. There, perfect. Sometimes I can cut it and sometimes I can't. Does anybody else have trouble with that? You know, cutting, sitting down? Or is it just me? Beautiful clap. Thank you, Gillian. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Ian.
I tell you if it's beautiful, but I can't see it at the moment.
Did you see it when before I does anybody else struggle to cut something sitting down?
Yeah, everybody.
I really struggle. Lynn says yes. It's really strange how you would think a simple thing by cutting fabric would affect you that much when you're sitting down. It does. I'm going to take this pin out. There. Right, and I'm going to turn it around, put this pin in. Like that. Turn that around. And I'm right, safeguard, put that back on. Right, that is my lining. So I'm going to take a little bit of scrap because I'll need it for this next section. Are you with me, Ange?
I'm cutting my lining at the moment.
She's really quiet. Can we flicker over to you to see what lining you chose?
Not really, because I'm stood up over in another part of the room, so it won't be any point. I'm nearly done. Nearly finished.
So once you've cut your lining, take your piece and turn it. Two corners. You don't have to turn it inside out. I've just thought because of the lining, it's just the backing of this at the moment. Done that for no reason. Dips. Oh, Dipsy.
What have I got to do now?
Just pin your lining to your work. And we are going to go on our machines and we're going to do a zigzag stitch to secure your lining onto your cushion cover. So I've got a piece of scrap because I want to play around with the length and the width of my zigzag stitch. So let me find the zigzag stitch. It would be 7. And the width, I want it quite small. So let's do, I've got my width at 6 and my length, well, there's no option for length, but I got my width at 6. So I've just taken a piece of scrap material. And yeah, that's how small I want it. And then I'm just going to zigzag stitch. So while I'm doing this, can I flicker over to you, Ange, so we can see you sew?
What, my zigzag?
Your zigzag stitch.
Yeah. One. I'm just pinning my lining on, but I've made my lining too short now. Oh, I'm a nightmare.
If you made your lining too short, cut your piece down.
Yeah.
I've just flickered it back over to Angie for you guys to see Angie stitch. Because all we're doing is going to go around the edges to do our zigzag stitch on this cushion cover.
Well, I think it'll still be in the seam allowance anyway, won't it?
Well,
is there going to be a seam allowance or?
No, it's no seam allowance. You're just going on the edges, literally on the edges of your work.
No, I mean when you put the backing on.
The line.
No, I like to know what's going on.
I know, she's skipping ahead.
I know,
just do your lining, just sew your block piece onto your lining and go right to the edge of your work.
All right.
And then we're going to make what's called an envelope cushion back. And then I'll talk you through that.
All right, thank you.
It was like this tonight. Last night, it was like, oh, what's the next step? I was like,
That's what that's one of my downfalls, because my husband says that. He says, why don't you just wait until it's finished? I said, yeah, but what's it going to look like?
Yeah. I had to show her a picture. I know what Angie's like. She's got to see it.
So I've got pink spots for my lining.
Oh.
You want to see the other side, ladies?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, nice, Ange.
Thank you.
Hi, Sun and Moon, sweetheart.
Is that, what's her name? Is it Rosie?
Yes, it is.
Hello, if it's Rosie. Right, see what you can see. Wait for it to catch up a minute. I think you can see it. So what are we doing, zigzag?
Yeah, zigzag stitch. My width is on 6. It's really
small.
Yeah.
The width. Zigzag, right, hang on. Which one's zigzag?
That
one
here. Help you with, Ange.
4.
What I did is on a piece of scrap, I just, because it needs to be really small, is so
I've got stitch length and then I've got width.
Yeah, width.
Is that, have I got the right foot on? Yeah.
6.
Oh, I'm not doing 5/8 now, am I? Just the edge.
No, you're just going right to the edge.
Oh, maybe you did that then.
Don't worry about the 5/8 at the minute.
Let me do it on a scrap like you did.
Yeah. You guys couldn't see my width because my cotton is really baby pink colour. I fancy to change to a white. Hence why it's so baby pink.
Let me just check this. Can I? Oh no, I better not.
You can do anything you want, Ange. Remind me that's 6.
Right, let me have a look at that. Oh, that's not even a zigzag. What is it then? What have I selected? What stitch?
I don't know.
Looks like zigzag on the back. I don't know what I've done there. I'm going to rethread.
I'm going to rethread.
Oh, I know what it is. I need a new bobbin.
Oh, Ange. Really happy with you tonight. I'm going to make you a cup of tea after this, Ange. I'll send it up in the train.
Okay. Put some more cotton on here. Sorry, ladies, there's not much to see at the moment. I'm just rewinding my bobbin because when it gets a right down low, it starts looping. Oh, made my sewing machine pink. Oh, super speed.
Cinnamon, what's your name, sweetheart? Because every week you come on our lives, and I think every week I wonder and I ask, and you've probably said it to me 1,000 times, and I do apologise for not remembering your name. But I really do want to try and remember your name because you come on and support me and support the both of us when we're doing the live. And I just wondered what your name was. Or if you want me to call you Cinnamon, then I will. I'm guessing that's just your channeling.
Right, this off a minute. All right, I know. Why is it going E? What's it doing that? Oh, because the foot's not down. Right, can I take? Oh, I'll take that tape off now.
I know you need the tape on for the backing, Ange.
Oh, I'll put it back on after.
You can put it back on after. You just go into the edge.
Huh?
You just go in, you're stitching just on the edge of your work at the moment.
Yeah. When I get the right stitch, I can. So I need zigzag. I thought number 4 was zigzag. Let's try it again now. I know what it is. It's because the right. That's better.
Got to use zigzag
It looks like zigzag now. No, just around the edge, yeah?
Yeah.
It's Rosa. Rosa, there you go.
Rosa.
I don't know why I thought it was Rosie.
Rosa. Thank you, I promise I will learn your name. And next week when I come on, if you're on with me, you Rosa. Are you going on, Ange?
Yeah, I'm getting on all right. Thank you for asking. This material I've got here, ladies, from my backing, I got from a duvet cover. Another one of my...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, another one, a duvet cover I got. I think I paid about £4 or £5 for the whole duvet cover, single. So... Yeah, like bargains. pins in the wrong way round. There.
Right. Yes.
No.
Go faster, my machine, Ange. So we're doing something on the back of an envelope back, and it's pretty easy to do. I'll show you now exactly how to do it.
Blimey, it sounds like it's going to take off any minute.
Yeah.
You finished?
All right, and you carry on.
Okay, I'm done.
Done?
Yeah.
Right. I'll flick it back over to me.
What's next, boss?
What's next? What's next, man? What's next? Right. And that's looking stunning, by the way. Your
Thank you,
are
darling. Pink.
Really nice. I know you said the blocks were in the right way, but I actually like that mistake. That makes any sort of sense, even if you.
I think you'd have to really study it to think actually. No. Anyway, it's done now. Yeah, so definitely. What's next?
Right. The camera should be flicking over to me in a second. And you were right. It's either Rosa or Rosie, Ange. So yeah. Someone said she'd like to be called either. So the next bit is the back end. So I chose, when I was out shopping with Rian yesterday, I chose this back end. I picked this fabric up from a shop called, Ange, you'll know it. What's your favourite colour, Ange?
Pink.
And what you use?
Scissors.
Pink scissors. The shop's called Pink Scissors. It is actually called that. That's not me making it up. And she sells beautiful fabric, and this was one of them. And I just thought it blended in nice with a quarter pack, because this is actually a quarter pack that I'm using to do this pattern. And yeah, so I'm going to use that for the backing for this. So how to do the backing? You can measure it up any way you would like to. First of all, we need to do it the same size as our piece. So I'm going to use some pins, but we need to leave ourselves a little bit of a seam allowance. And in order to do that, you want, because I'm going to show you guys how to use quilter's tape. We're going to leave about 1/2 inch all the way around our work. There's a reason for it. I haven't gone mad.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear it.
Yeah, I'm not mad yet. Half an inch. So there's half an inch on the side. So I just need to go this side and cut this side. So we're doing.
Hello, April. How are you, darling?
Oh, hi, April, sweetheart. So we're doing something called an envelope backing. So I'm going to take my fabric.
Oh, I love your cushion. It's gorgeous.
I definitely think the seam allowance has got to do with the pattern.
Yeah, it's really nice. I wasn't convinced, but now it's done. It looks really nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, what am I doing?
You're doing your backing. So you put your fabric, your backing.
And then leave what? About an inch all the way round?
Yeah.
Okay. Just resting a bit. April's resting a bit.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. Just resting a bit.
It's the weekend. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Woo! And we are sewing, of course. Why would we be doing anything else on a Friday? So I have left half an inch now. My piece, I'm going to leave it on here for a second because it'll help me. I need my piece to be the other way. So wait a second. Got some pins in here I need to take out. Yeah, that's the only pin. No, it's not the only pin. It's 2 pins. So what I'm going to do is to put the 2 backs together for a second. So the pretty sides facing each other. And I'm going to pop 2 pins in each corner just to give me a little bit of a head start. Right. Decide where you want your opening to be. Now, I want my opening to be about there, I would say. Yeah, about there. So I'm going to make a slit. It doesn't have to be halfway. It can be any way you want. So I've made a little slit on the side of my work. And I'm going to unpin the pretty side of my fabric, fold that back. And then I'm going to cut where I've just put that little slit. And this is to make the envelope backing. So I'm going to just cut it. There's my scissors. I'm going to pull that down and I'm going to just run my... How are you getting on, Ange?
I'm doing all right. I can't really see what you're doing, but I'm listening.
You need your backing fabric. You place the 2 pretty sides together. 2 pretty sides. So your piece that you've just worked on, you put that flat down to the backing fabric that you want. So you've got the 2 pretty sides together.
Well, I haven't cut anything yet. I'm cutting it now.
Right. And then you make a little slit. You decide where you want the opening of your cushion to be. You make a little slit on the backing fabric. And then you'll have 2 bits for your backing, basically. And that creates your envelope. Tell me when you're with me and then I'll slow down a little bit. While Angie's busy doing that and she's busy catching up because I don't want to go speeding her head because she's following me. I want to show you what I've been up to this week. So I had some pure sari silk ribbon. I had it from Etsy. I've got to order some more and it was absolutely gorgeous. And I just sat there one day and I thought, oh, what can I make with them? And I've been meaning to make a coaster for this room and our living room because our living room's like pinky. So I made these and they're coasters. So what I did, I made them up in my own pattern and I will do a video on them because Angie said, where did you get the pattern from? And I was like, it was out of my head. So anyway, I will do a video on these when the other ball comes. I spray starched them and I ironed them flat. and they're quite stiff. I could sew a bit of back into them to make them a bit more durable, but they're stiff and I can wash them afterwards. So those are my first little projects I wanted to share with you all. So those are my coasters. My second project that I've been doing this week is another cushion cover, only this time I did something called a Dresden plate. And a Dresden plate is made well, it depends on the pattern, but this pattern is made of 16 plates. Some patterns can have 20. So the plates are these, and each individual piece you sew together to create the plate. I haven't actually done the circle as of yet, and I'm making a vintage cushion cover. And what I did was, instead of having the cushion cover like this, what I'm doing now, or like an ordinary one, I did some buttons on the side. But my buttons were too big for the hole. They were absolutely too big. So I was like, how on earth am I going to use the buttons to make the button hole? This is how you sort of do it. You get your button plate and you get a button that's half the size of the button that you want to use. There's the button that I used that was half the size. And you create your first buttonhole, which I have got a piece around you somewhere. Yeah, you create your first buttonhole. So my first buttonhole, only my Angie's catching up with me, stopped to there. So it started there and it stopped halfway. Then I did another buttonhole that started halfway between the first one. The second one was there and it stopped there. And then I cut in the middle. And then that gave me the space, the buttonhole I needed to put the buttons through. So if ever you think, oh, my button foot isn't going to take the button I want, it will. You just got to trick your machine basically and tell it that you want to pick a button that you want to use. So anyway, I've done 6 buttons. I did 3 down that side, 3 down that side. I did my Dresden plate, which I haven't finished. And it comes, I haven't finished with it yet, which is why I'm working on it slowly. And it opens up like so, but this is going to be sewn on the bottom as well. So the opening is going to be at the sides. So yes, that's what I've been working on, and Angie's been doing some Dresden plate work as well. So you will see Angie's in a second. So I hope that she's going to share it with us. I'm hoping that she will.
Can you tell them the story then about the Dresden plates?
Yes, Dresden plates. Nobody will believe us, but I will tell them. Gillian says, I would never have thought of crocheting coasters. What a good idea. That cushion cover looks beautiful. Thank you, Gillian.
It is really
my
pretty.
Coasters, yes, I will definitely do a video on it, because even Angie said, where did you get the pattern from? And I didn't. With these, I didn't get a pattern. It was out of my head, but I will do a video on them. And it's sari silk, which you wouldn't think that sari silk would stay in one piece for you to do it, but it does. And yeah, I will do a video. I'll come back and do a video when my ball comes through the door. I haven't got enough to make another coaster. I will come back and do a video and show you all how I've done that. The story of the Dresden plates. So by complete coincidence, now this is complete coincidence, Angie had been following her inspiration from somewhere else.
Jeannie Dreamer.
Jeannie Dreamer. So we speak often, maybe some nights all the time. If one of us is not well, obviously we don't speak. Life gets in the way. Sometimes we never speak, that night, but we do catch up, and we don't go never like 2-3 days apart without catching up. Anyway, so we were talking and we're talking and we're talking, and I said to Angie, I said, oh, do you know what? Angie had said, have you seen Jeannie Dreamer's new video on Dresden plates? And I went, Dresden plates? Dresden plates, what are you? So anyway, it goes on to Jeannie Dreamer's video, which, by the way, Jeannie, if you are watching, your Dresden plate is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
It's beautiful in every sense of the word. And I love the fact you took us through each part. And if you haven't seen it, go on over. You'll know what I'm talking about straight away. So anyway, Angie said, oh, I've been watching this video, Genie Dreamers. So anyway, just get steaming on, because sometimes the video's not coming up, like I've said to you before. YouTube are knocking the bells off. And I was watching Genie Dreamer. And I said to my mum, I said, Mum, Angie's been watching Genie Dreamer, Dresden Plate. Do you think it's easy to do? Right. She went, Colette? I went, yes. She said, you know that magazine that you picked up the other day? I went, yes. That's got the plate with it. I went, yes. She said, that is Dresden Plate. I went, what? Bearing in mind, we hadn't spoke, Ange.
No.
We haven't had this conversation. Angie didn't know I picked the magazine up. She didn't even know I had the stencil, nothing. I didn't even know that Genie Dreamers video was out and about, so there was no like conversation. Anyway, I said, well, she said it's called Dresden Plate. And I was making this, which is, let me find it, because this is where the cushion cover came from. With Dresden plates, you can actually make them any sort of sense of the word. Oh, you watch now, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. There. So my mum said, that's Dresden plate. So, well, what? Well, so when we were talking, we called up again. I said, Ange. She went, yeah. She went, Angie said, I would love to have a go at this Dresden plate. I went, what? She went, I'd love to have a go at this Dresden plate. Anyway, we got speaking. And again, we didn't have a conversation, did we, Ange, about what we'd been watching, where our inspiration was coming from. No. Neither of us knew what we wanted to, a project that we wanted to do. And Angie said, I really want to do a Dresden plate. And then we spoke, and then it was only then that we figured out that the project that we both wanted to do was called the same thing. And we were
you had your Dresden plate, and I'd ordered some on the internet, and I said, I've ordered these things, and they'd come, have a look at these. And you went, that's a Dresden plate. So I went, yeah. You went, look what I've done. And I was like, yeah. Oh my goodness, we've just had the same idea.
Same idea. Angie ordered hers, which I'm going to flicker over to Angie's now, and you'll see Angie's Dresden plate. And then we were talking about something else, what we were talking about, and it went really spooky. And Angie went, you're going to need to stop now, Claire, because it's getting spookier. What was it on about? We were on about Dresden plates, and we were on about cutting the Dresden plates to make things with.
Yeah.
And we were on about cutting patterns, which on the back of this magazine, this is exactly what we were talking about. We were calling about cutting patterns, which in sewing terms means appliquing. When you cut a pattern and you stick it to another piece of fabric, it's called an applique. So Angie went, you've got to stop now, he's getting spooky. So anyway, that is the story behind the Dresden plate, and that is how I came to do mine. And I'm going to flick over to Angie for Angie to show you hers. And like I say, inspiration. Like I say, we have inspiration. I always say every time inspiration comes from
spooky, wasn't it? It's really. Hello, Fiona. How are you, darling?
So spooky. Hi, Fiona, sweetheart. I flick it over to you, Ange, for us to see your Dresden plate and your patterns.
Right, what have I done with them?
If you got them by hand, if you haven't, don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are.
I just got to wait for it to catch up a minute.
Okie doke. But this conversation didn't even happen until, like I say, I had my magazine, was flickering through it. We are actually on you, Ange.
Okay, so this was the Dresden plates that I bought. I bought a pack off of Amazon with a little book, and to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be a bit bigger than this, but it worked out all right anyway. So I got all different shapes for mine. And it's got a little book that tells you everything you need to know about perfect patchwork templates, the Dresden plate set. And because as soon as I seen Genie's, I was like, I'd done some research, and I thought, oh, I'm going to see how much they are to buy, because she said they were really expensive.
Yeah, they can be.
So, yeah, so I was, oh, well, this wasn't too bad because there was 4 of them and it said 12 inches. I thought, well, that's pretty big, blah, blah, blah. But as it turns out, it only makes a 12-inch circle, but it's not a problem. So this was my first attempt, this one, with this one. And I did it from the 10.5 from there to the 10.5 there. That was the size of it that I did. I cut, you know, when you fold it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, from the 12, I think, was to the 10.5 base. And stitched all together. And I was like, oh my God, it came out lush. Really came out lovely.
You cut each piece, don't we, Ange, to make the dresser plate. For those that don't know, you cut each piece. Each piece is cut separately.
Yeah.
And each piece is joined to the next piece. But they've all got to measure the same, because if they don't measure the same, they don't sink into when you come to put them together.
And this little book, it's really interesting. It gives you everything you need to know about it, because the people that have written the book are actually, they make them themselves. Yeah. It shows you all the tips and how to cut the round petals, and then you can do all these patterns. You can do a butterfly. They give you the pattern for that as well, like up there, the butterfly, which is beautiful how it comes out, which is there. So I had a go at it, and then my second attempt, which I showed Colette, I think I showed it did I show it last night?
Yes.
I did another one in all little patches, because you use all your bits of
material
up. This made circles a bit dodgy, but it was my first attempt at it. So yeah, so then I put that to a piece of fabric, stitched on a piece of fabric, and then I suppose you could cut the squares out and then join squares all together and make yourself a quilt. So yeah, it's really good fun.
Yeah,
I highly recommend you have a go.
For me, it was a bit tricky for when I was starting to do it. Mine did not come out like that perfect first time. I got really frustrated with it. I was ready to throw it out the window, and she said, "Just keep going with it; it'll come together."
Yeah, you never ever give up, Colette. I've never known you to give up.
Didn't
let anything beat you.
I was unpicking it and sewing it, and unpicking it and sewing it. Among times I unpicked it, but I love it for what it is, because you just get a beautiful pattern out of it. Everything.
And you don't need. I made this one. I made that. I'll show you what I used. I bought a load of. Oh, where are they? I bought a pack of these, and you could cut them out yourself, I suppose. And they were just little squares of material that were pre-cut.
Yeah.
Little squares like that. And I used them on each one. I used one of these. So you don't need a lot of material for each one. I mean, I think you could probably make 2 out of that one. You see what I mean? I use those. So you can see the offcuts. But yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, she did.
Right.
Very good. Right, I'm going to flick it back over to me, Miss Paisey.
Yeah, because I'm going to need to catch up with how you cut the lining.
Oh, right.
The back end.
Right, so I'll go through how I've cut the backing again. So, let it catch up in a second. That's beautiful, Angie. Very pretty.
Thank you.
Are they hand
stitched? No.
Fiona, you can hand stitch them. You can. And I have seen videos doing it, but you know, you physically hand stitching it, or you can do it on the machine. It's just whatever you prefer to do. But the ones we've done are on the machine, but you can hand stitch them. There's nothing to say you can't. Gillian says, one of my many things I've learned from Colette is to never give up. Oh, yeah. That's so sweet.
True.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Gillian. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
So what am I doing now?
Right. Thank you, Gillian. Right. So what you do now is you get your pretty side. This is your backing. So my backing is the blue.
Yeah.
Facing up towards the ceiling, and you're going to put your block piece that you've just worked on facing down.
Right.
Tell me when you've done that.
How big is my piece of material got to be? The same size as the actual?
No, because you've left an inch, haven't you, all the way around?
Yeah.
Of your backing material, you've left an inch all the way around, because you're going to turn it in now in a sec.
Oh, okay. Right. Done that.
Right. Now turn it once. I turned it just to give you an idea. And decide where you want your slit to be. It can be in the half. Mine slit is about a quarter from the top downwards. You get 3/4 of one side and a quarter of the other. So go a quarter from your patchwork piece down and make a slit with your scissors into your backing fabric.
Okay.
Yeah, with me. Put the patchwork piece backwards, and then cut where that slit is all the way up. So you now got 2 separate pieces for your backing.
Right. Okay, I'm with you.
Right.
I think.
She's with me.
So a quarter of the way down.
Quarter of the way down.
Yeah, but I need to get this straight, don't I?
Roughly 1/4 of an inch down. Right. While Angie's doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking my edges in. So I'm going to get a little pen and I'm just going to mark. It's a bit difficult to see, but I'm going to mark where my piece is. Right, now quilter's tape. I just had it a second ago. No, I had it. I took it out of the packet. Been yappering on.
Oh, this is the infamous quilter's tape.
Yes, I can find it. Oh my word.
What am I going to use instead of quilter's tape? Am I using pins?
Yeah, you can use your pins. Find my quilter's tape. Of course I did. Thank you, Fiona, sweetheart. Right, quilter's tape. This is how you use it. So my quilter's tape is 6mm. It's about 1/4 of an inch, and it's £1.50 for 30 meters. Right, I'm gonna unpin this because this is pinned in, and all I'm gonna do to start me off, I'm gonna fold it once till it meets halfway. Now it'll be about 1/4 of an inch where you're gonna first mark it. And then you mark it again, which will give you your 1 inch because you've just left a 1 inch seam. So it'll look a bit like that. With me? I'm just thinking now, have I done it that right way, as in the patterned? If I fold it, let me go through it. So it no, I've done it the wrong way. It needs to be that way. Fold it. Do it that way. No, have I? What way am I doing it? So the pattern's putting me off. Right. Fabric facing down as if I were doing an ordinary cushion cover. I'm talking myself through it so I don't make a mistake. So the last thing I want to be doing once I've done my block. Fold it once for 1/4 inch, fold it twice till you get 1 inch. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Right, so you've now got your 2 inch.
Hang on, if you make a mistake, I'm going to make a mistake.
If you make a mistake, I'll make a mistake. I think I'm doing it right. I think. If I'm doing an ordinary backing, then it would be two pretty sides together, and then you turn them out inside out. So yes, I think I'm doing it the right way. So quilter's tape. I put it on the edge of my work. And it doesn't affect your needle one bit at all. Right, and then I'm going to fold.
No, that's not deep enough. Hang on, I need a wider piece of material. There it is.
It has got come on.
That looks like double-sided tape, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just checking that it's not
wreck your machine.
No, it doesn't wreck your needles, doesn't wreck your machine.
No, double-sided tape would.
Yeah. Come on. Give me a tweezer. Your handy little gadget. Just checking there's not iron on, because you can get quilter's tape with this iron on. Wait a minute, let me check. Just using the quilter's tape. Use the tape as a guide to quilting to obtain evenly spaced stitching. Hold pleats as you form them. Do not press. Are you an iron on?
Hello, Ribber. How are you, darling?
An iron on. Yes, an iron on, which means I'm going to fold it like so.
Is it iron on, is it?
Yes, iron on one.
Oh, my days.
This is the reason why.
That's why it's not working.
And I'm going to iron that. Yes, iron on.
I can hear Teddy.
Can you hear Teddy? He's the other. Yeah, he's the other side of the hallway. Right, I'm going to stitch that now. Using my zigzag stitch, no other stitches. I'm going to ignore the 5/8 inch, and I'm just going to go on the edge and I'm going to sew. Right.
What does that do?
But instead of using the pins, stabilize your fabric. You can get quilter's tape, do it in measuring at different things, so you can get half. Because you fold it over twice, it doesn't affect your work. Perfect seam allowance. Now that's stitched. I folded it over once. Sometimes yes, one folded it over, didn't I?
I don't understand why you're doing the edges. I'm lost.
Your edges, you're bringing in your edges because when you go to sew it on your patchwork piece, your edges are brought in because it's a cushion cover. you're obviously going to wash it. If we were just putting stuffing in and sewing it, then you wouldn't need to take the edges in, double the edges over like I am. But because it's a cushion cover and it's going to be sort of...
So when we join it together, then we're not joining it inside out and turning it the other way round.
Yeah.
It's going straight on the back.
I'll show you now, Ange. I'll show you.
I need to watch the rest tomorrow. Sorry, Colette and Angie, I'm telling the sleep. Oh, good night, little Sue.
Good night, Sue. Thank you for coming in.
Sleep well. I'm going to have to wash mine as well because mine's got stain on it. Not the front, the back. So I'm folding the sides in.
Right, so you do it like that. So when you come to sew it on your work, you will have a perfect sew line. I knew I should have done it the other way. To have a perfect seam line going across. Should have sewed it the other way.
What do you mean by the other way?
What I mean is I shouldn't have taken my edge into the fabric, into the pattern fabric. I should have just done the seam so that, look, what I mean is this. I've done my seam allowance so the pretty side is facing up. What I should have done is done my seam allowance with the pretty side facing down. So I'll just sew that again like that, and then I can carry on then doing it. When you come to sew your back to your front, you'll have a perfect stitch on the side, and it won't come undone. There's no way it's going to come undone with two fold stitches. That makes any sort of sense in what I'm saying. That's why you fold it over twice. That's why I said leave an inch all around the edges to make sure you've got enough to turn your fabric in.
No, I just thought you'd just sew. I thought you would just sew it in. I got confused. Take no notice of me. I'm just doing the. I'm doing the opening. I'm making sure that is along the long edge of the pillow.
Yeah, like that, Angela. That becomes your edge. And you're going to sew this, and when you turn it inside out, you can have a perfect edge. That's not going to come undone because it's a cushion cover. You don't want all your hard work to go to waste. It's coming down like in a couple of months' time when you go to wash it. You can sew it the way you're doing it. I'm just doing it to prevent it from coming undone, that's all.
Okay.
There's nothing to say in that you can't do it the way you're thinking. I do need to cut some off here though. Remove my iron. And I'm going to fold it in twice like I've just done. It would help if I had the guard off. God. Oh my word. Move that piece over a second. Right. Fold it in a quarter of the seam allowance first time. Again, my quarters tape, which will be around here somewhere. I'll find the packaging. Can I find the tape? Oh, there's the tape. Right. Anyway. Right on the edge. And I've done a zigzag stitch, so it's not going to come undone. Are you doing
zigzag? Yours is definitely not coming undone.
No, mine's not going to even have the chance to.
Even if you bounced up and down on it?
Definitely not gonna. Tape's moved. No, I am that.
I'm going to change my needle. At least for my spanner.
Why?
I've got to change my needle.
Oh.
It's thumping.
Oops. I'm going to sew this edge.
Right.
And then I shall, you'll see what I've done now in a sec. I'm nearly there. Let me take you over to the sewing. Did you say you have to change the needle?
Yeah, I'm changing my needle.
I know I'm not using my needle threader because I have, when I put the needle in, I don't know whether I put it in the wrong way. I don't know. I think I have, but it's not working.
That's the trouble with these machines. They're temperamental.
Yeah, you go left, Joe. Yeah. You gotta know what you're doing.
I reckon they know we're on live.
I know.
We fall apart.
Right, there's my side done. Bring it back over here. Right, so I've done my two sides now, so that
You've got to do the edges now. I'm here along the long edge.
I got to do the long edge, and the way I do the long edge, I do the short edges on here actually while Angie's catching up because she knows what I'm doing on the short edges. So with I'm going to do it on the short edges on the top piece. Ange, are you all right? Can we flip her over to you?
If you want.
We'll flip her over to Ange.
I'm not doing what you're doing, mind.
Oh. Doing your own little thing, you?
I've gone off on a totally different, I'm going on a totally different tangent. Oh, that's a much better needle.
We're on you, Ange, by the way.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what you can see. You can't see anything. You won't be able to see anything anyway because I took my tape off to change the needle. On my other machines, you could turn the light on and off, but on this one, you can't. And when you're filming, you can't see anything. Try that. Can you see it now, everybody?
Can see it.
I'm going to have a look on my thing a minute, see what's doing. That's it. That's better.
So explain what you've done different.
I didn't do that where you folded the edges in. I'm just stitching mine all the way round.
Oh, right, okay.
I did the edges of the I was doing the edges of the envelope when it folds out. If that makes any sense?
No.
I know.
So you've stitched your back to your front?
I'm stitching my back to my front.
Okay.
To be honest with you, Colette, I got a little bit lost. It's not like me, is it?
Well, you just fold it in twice, that's all, the edges.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
get lost.
I'm gonna do I need to do the back first.
Okay, but I'm doing it like I watched your mum do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll turn it around now and it'll be all wrong. Wait and see. Have I stitched that side? Yeah. So hopefully my sides are not going to be as strong as yours, but hopefully I've done it right. We'll see. I have to go back to the drawing boards. So I've stitched it like that and like that. So I'm open, it comes out right, and it looks a bit skew-with, but it's my first attempt at it, so skew-with it is. I'm just going to trim it now around the edges, and then I'm going to turn it in the right way and see what happens. Might be lopsided, it could be anything really.
And another thing that quilter's tape will give you is your exact 1/4 inch, because you're using the quilter's tape and you
all right.
So you don't have to really think about it.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have to leave it like this. You could embellish it as well, couldn't you?
That's what I'm going to do to mine.
You are?
Yeah, I am.
Right, we'll see what happens now, ladies, when I turn it in the right way. I'm gonna snip around the corners. Not really that thick really anyway, but Give it a go. Just be careful I don't slip into the stitching. What I could do really, which I might go back and do after, is zigzag around all the edges just to secure them all in. But if this works. What was that?
Tape. There's tape.
We can see it, Angie. Thank you, River. It'll be fine, Julian says. I'm sure it will be. Oh, my days. Look. I've done it.
Woo!
It is a bit wonky, and I'm going to have to wash my material because it's really stained. I don't know why. I might have tipped a cup of tea on it or something. So that is definitely not straight, but it's handmade. So, and I went off on my own a little bit because I couldn't really follow what you were doing, and that's not your fault. That was me because I was over at the ironing board and.
Well, that's okay. You just done what you wanted to do. That's all.
I remember watching your mum doing the envelope one. She made 2, didn't she, when you did the live on the Facebook? I remembered what she did, and I thought, okay. So that's the back, and then the cushion will go in there like that. It could have been a little bit deeper actually, but never mind. You live and learn. And that's the front. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Woohoo! I want to put some buttons or something on mine. I don't know what I want to
embellish mine now in a second.
Are you?
Yeah.
Right. So, there it is. Finito. See, what we could have done is we could have put some, before we put this on, we could have put some batting underneath, and we could have embroidered it, couldn't we?
You don't need the batting to embroider, Ange. No, that on you.
Yeah, I meant to make it sort of padded. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, it worked.
It did work. I'm going to embroider mine now in a second.
I want to see you embroider yours in a second. I put a quilting needle in, and it just went through like butter, Colette.
See?
It's amazing. I tell you, my machine has struggled so much with trying to get through fabric, and it's like clunking all the time and that. Colette said to me, you need to get some, what was it? Quilting machine. Quilting needles. And I just put one in now to try it, and it just went through like butter. It's amazing. I got a lot more confidence in my machine now. Thank you very much for that, Claire.
Yeah.
It looks quite square as well for me. The back's a bit dodgy, and it's got a great big stain down it. I don't know where that. Yeah, this is a bit dodgy how I put it on, but you don't see the back, do you? Hopefully, you look at the front. There we are. I'm done. Thank you, everybody. I do like it now. I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
It's like I say, once you know the pattern, you're well away.
Yeah.
You could make them bigger. You could make them smaller. You could do whatever you wanted to them.
Yeah. I think next time, before I put the backing on, I might put some fringe around it or trim but yeah, that's really good. I'll be interested to see how you embellish yours.
I'm gonna just do I've done the top because the back is split from 2 sides, isn't it? I've done the top because they call that an envelope, because it's like an envelope. They call it an envelope backing.
Dawn Marie said drum roll. I love it. Oh,
bless.
It was a bit of a and I was like, I'm going to turn this through now, and it's going to be all around the wrong way, and it's going to be upside down and inside out.
It's Angie struggles because if she can't see it, or she made it before, or she can't see a picture of it, she hasn't seen a picture of it, she struggles to see what it'll look like.
I know. I need to see the end result.
You need to see it. She's always been the same. Always. Ever since I've known her, she's got to see the end. The end game.
I know. It's awful, isn't it? So everybody's looking at me and I'm not showing them anything now, just my cushion.
Have you got any projects to share?
No, I think I showed everybody, didn't I? Yeah, so I like it.
Do you want to give everybody the pattern while I'm just taking my edges, and then I'm going to embroider mine?
What do you mean, give everybody the pattern?
The pattern to the blocks.
Oh, right. Yeah, but my writing's not very good. So if anybody wants to write it down, get a pen and paper now. And I can go through it with you really slowly. Don't take the notice of all that.
Yeah, don't take no notice of the machine behind it in the back.
No, the writing. So first of all, I thought that Colette called it a pixie cushion.
Yes.
And then I thought it was a ditzy cushion. But I'm not really sure. I think we weren't sure about whether it was a P or a D or what it was, or a Nixie or anyway. So it's
patchwork cushions was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's made from. Angie, did you use 6 different fabrics?
I did.
Made from.
Let me get a piece. So does anybody want to write it down, or let me know and I can go through it really slowly with you.
Go on, Ange. Do it anyway, because for those that are watching this back.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true, isn't it? So for your rectangles are all going to be shaped. The size is going to be 2 3/4 inch by 4.5, and your squares will be 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, because obviously that is a square. So you need 6 different types of material, different patterns, and you label them A, B, C, D, E, and F, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want to do, whatever way you want to do it. So for A, we're going to say for A, you need 6 rectangles in your first color. Then your B one, you'll need 4 rectangles and 2 squares. The C, you'll need 4 rectangles and 2 squares. D, you need 6 rectangles. Now, A and D are the only ones that you need 6 rectangles and no squares. And then E is 4 rectangles and 2 squares, and F is 4 rectangles and 2 squares. So that's basically all your little piles. You mark them all out, cut them all out, and obviously put them in the little piles ready. And then you go on to the pattern, and it's 2 blocks of 4 rows. Okay. On the first row, it's 1 of the A rectangles, and then you join it to the side on a 5/8 seam allowance. It's all 5/8 all the way through, and the way we did it was we found 5/8 on the plate, and we put a piece of tape down so we could just follow it along, and that was a really easy way of doing it, unless you've got a foot, a foot that's got the width on it, one of them special feet. So the first one is 1 times the A rectangle joined to the B rectangle, and then the next one is the C. You join the B to the C, and then you join the C to the D, and that makes your first row. And then just lay it out as you've stitched it. Row 2 is 1 E square, which I don't know if I could show you actually on here. I got it all wrong, didn't I? I did it all wrong. Then join 1 F rectangle to that, And then to that rectangle, you do 1A rectangle, and then you join 1B rectangle, and then 1C square at the end. So it's basically your two little squares, which I got there. Your two little squares, you've got one there, you've got the rectangles and a square at the end. So it all makes the same length. And that's your second row. Your third row is 1D rectangle joined to 1E. When you stitch that together, then you stitch together an F rectangle and then an A rectangle, and that's your third row. And then your fourth row is 1B square joined to 1C rectangle, then 1D rectangle, and then 1E rectangle, and then your last little one on the end will be 1F square, and that is your 4 rows. So you've got that, and then you repeat that twice to make this size cushion. And then from there, I think you got the gist of it. I hope so anyway. So that's your repeat. You do that again, another 4 rows, 4 lots of that, and then you can just join them all together as we did. If you keep them all in the same order as you've stitched them, then it will all turn out right and it won't go wrong like mine. Because mine went wrong there. Look, I got 2 the same there and there and there, and I don't think that's right. But never mind. It looks all right. It looks cool. But yeah, and I think that one should have been over here. But never mind. Next time I'll do it. I'm going to definitely do another one. Yeah. So that's it. So I don't know if anybody will follow that and hopefully make one. And I mean, you didn't have to make that, could you? You could make what could you make with it? Anything you wanted, really, couldn't you? You could make it longer, shorter.
You could use the same method and make a quilt if you wanted to.
You could do, yeah. What you do with it after the quilt, mind, I don't know. But yeah. So it'd be worth giving it a go. And I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll show you now. My fat quarters that I used, and I basically each fat quarter I cut one strip off the end, which was 4.5 inches wide, and that one strip did the whole of each pile. I cut a strip off of there 4.5 inches wide, a strip off of there, off of there, off of there, and off of there, and off of there. So that made up my and look how much I got left over. And that was a fat quarter. Yeah. So all you need off your fat quarter going down is a 4.5 inch strip, and that cut all the pieces for each pile. For that pile. So yes, you don't use a lot of material really.
You think you do because of the pattern.
Yeah.
Right, I'm nearly ready.
Yeah. Thank you, Fiona Jane. That's very sweet of you to say. It was fun. It really was fun. I really enjoyed it. I got to say I did enjoy it. So I can't wait for the next whatever the master comes up with.
Oh, no. Yeah, I had the inspiration from a magazine, so it wasn't a thing that came out.
Yeah, but you went looking for it, didn't you? At the end of the day, you went looking for it.
So I'm going to thread my thread, and we're going to do some embroidery on my cushion.
Fabulous.
And then, yeah, and then you can see on my cushion. Now I've done my top bit of the backing a little bit too big. I'm not that bothered by it because I can always cut it down. I'd rather it be too big than too small.
Yeah, definitely. As in most things in life.
Right, I'll be with you now, ladies.
So I don't think I've got anything else to show you. No. And if you see my video of my snippet roll, I actually made my husband put a hook around the door frame now, and it's hanging up. It's a work of art. I love it.
Oh.
So what should we look at? Row 1, row 2.
Do you want the mat, Ange? Your reversible mat? Because you haven't showed the backing of your mat.
Well, no. Well, it's just the back of it. It's just plain. It's like the purple. It looks to me, when I look at it, it looks like a dinosaur. I think it's these. There's the back. It's very messy, and I had trouble with my needle as well. So you don't see the back anyway, do you? But yeah, that was the back. It's just plain. So yeah, not very interesting to look at. But yeah, and I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to make sure I get all the lines straight. But yeah, I
have to like a back over to me now.
All right, sweetheart, no problem.
Thread in my thread. It's not going through my machine. Come on. We've had all problems tonight. We've had we've had loads. Right, I'm going to pick a back over to me. Right. Where am I? No, I don't want to mute myself.
No, don't do that.
I can't even do it. Right, I'm going to do some embroidery work. And I'm just literally on the verge of threading my thread through.
Ooh.
Now,
right.
My needle threader has decided that he doesn't want to work tonight. So I'll try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'll put cotton in that I can see.
The mat is really good as well because it just slides across the table as well. It's really helpful. Oh, we're back. She's back.
I'm back. Oh,
there she is.
It's not working, Ange. It's not working.
It's not working.
Right, that's it now. It calls for action. I'm going to thread this back through. And I'm just going to use my come on. Oh, come on, machine.
Sometimes it could be a needle. Move your needle up and down again on the wheel.
I think ever since I took my needle out, the needle thread has decided to clear. Right, I have now got my thread in. So we're going to do some embroidery work to finish my cushion off. So I am back. Woohoo, I'm back. So I think for this type of cushion, I'm going to show you what stitches I've got. So let me know when you guys can see it. When can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see you.
Right. So what kind of stitches should we do? What kind of stitches should we do, Ange?
Well, you've got to do them around the edge, haven't you? You can't do them anywhere else.
Yeah, I can do them in the centre.
How?
I'll show you how.
Okay.
Right, okay, so should we do, I'm going to do, I went with leaves last time. I think I should do, there's a honeycomb stitch that I really like using. 39. Honeycomb stitch. That's the stitch. Right? I'm going to go as wide as possible because I want it quite wide. And I can't do anything with the length. Right. So my honeycomb stitch. Now what I've done with my cushion cover, because it's like an envelope, I sewed one half at the top and sewed the other half at the bottom. So all I got to do is long sides. So this is how you would embroider it. So this is what it looks like at the moment. There's a piece there. This is a bit bigger, so I'm just going to have to sew that, tuck that in with my quilter's tape in a second, but that's nothing. And there's my patchwork piece, and then my bottom piece for my backing. So I'm going to do my embroidery on my block. So I'm going to take this completely through, and I'm just going to pick sections out. Doesn't even have to be in a straight line. And I'm going to pick sections and press the machine. And of course you would have done do it yourself. Of course you would. Right, let me try again. 2, 3, 4, 4. Five. Oh yeah, it doesn't stitch. Oh my word.
Oh, good night, Dawn Marie. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for watching.
My word, come on.
What are you doing?
My needle won't go. My thread won't.
I told you. I reckon the machines know when you're doing a live.
They must do, you know.
I reckon they know.
Just started a second.
It's go on all day, and then you get on a live, and
when have I ever had problems with the thread? I have never had problems with the.
It might be your needle where you've put it in. It might be slightly too high or too low.
I think
not lining up properly.
No, it's too tension's too high on it. Right, that's it. Causes for action, and then. Right.
Hi, Nikki. How are you?
Hi, Nikki, sweetheart. There, in there. Right. Oh my word! Fancy my needle thread are not working. And how many times have I been sewing this week? Loads. Right. Okay. We'll start again. So press start. I'm just going to go back a couple of stitches. I don't have to do it. I'm just going to take it down to this block. Oh, no. Thought it caught that, I was going to say. And it did. Oh, no.
What's the matter?
It's caught on the back. I know why that was.
Yeah?
Because I didn't cut the thread before I put the new one on.
Ah.
That's why that caused. Right. I'll leave that bit there so I can unpick that a bit later. Right, I'm going to take it onto that section. I'm just choosing bits of my pattern to do the embroidery work on. See, glided through that time. There's the honeycomb stitch. Because I didn't cut it. My own fault. I tell you what, I did choose to. I was saying this to Angie. I'm doing something special for my brother, which means I know he's not watching, so I can tell you all. It consists of some photos and some photo frames. And anyway, I picked some gorgeous fabric. His room's going all in army. And I'm doing like a memorial picture frame for him, and I wanted some backing for the photo frames, so I picked some army fabric today. show you my fabrics in a second. So the challenges that are going on, there's my own challenge, which hasn't ended as of yet. Don't ask me when it ends because I have no idea. And there is, who else is doing a challenge, Ange?
My
own challenge.
Sarah
extended till next Friday. She's extended hers.
Who asked?
Sarah, she's extended her challenge till next Friday.
Cool. I'm trying to think who's doing them. Pearl and Button, she's got a challenge going on.
Yeah.
Has Debbie Fignola still got one going on or not? I'm not sure. I got lost. There's so many in there.
There are so many.
Trying to think. Anybody else can help us out?
No. Yeah, anybody else know of any challenges that are happening? I might put some buttons on here as well. So I've just picked some patterns out of my fabric. So there's some of there. There's some stitching there. Just pick like the odd pattern to do the pattern work in. Now I'm going to do a different stitch, and then I'm going to add 2 or 3 buttons to my work, and then I'm going to put it together. Let me change the pattern. What pattern should we have? What pattern should we have, Ange?
I don't know what patterns you got.
Flowers, leaves, tulips, diamonds.
Oh. Anybody ask the ladies what they think.
Okay,
let them choose.
So, ladies, let me show you the patterns. That would be easier if I showed you the patterns, wouldn't it? Tell me if you can see the patterns or not. Can you see the patterns?
Not yet. It's got to catch up. It's really, you're still on my picture. You're still sewing.
Oh wow, the lagging. That's really sweet. Thank you, Nikki. Hi, Nikki, sweetheart. I hope I said hello to you. If I haven't, I do apologize. Yeah, it's got different patterns on, so I was trying to work out what patterns to do. I could do some leaf patterns, which are blocked. They like blocked leaves. And then these patterns I figured out the other day, they are what they call satin patterns, and they come out really nice. You did, sweetheart. Oh, thank you, Nikki. I
challenge myself just to get out of bed.
Oh.
Early afternoon every day. Oh no.
I'm just gonna press.
I got laying tomorrow, Saturday. I love my bed. I love my lions. I love them. And I always think what a waste it is, laying in bed.
This is what you call a satin stitch.
Oh, yeah, try that one.
Some machines have them and some machines don't. Now, this is like a pure block satin stitch. I'm supposed to use beef for this, but I haven't.
Was it going to be all right without it?
Yeah.
Oh, Gillian said diamond shape. She'd like diamond shape.
Stitch. Can you guys see that? It's really pretty stitch.
Oh, that's the lush machine you've got there, Colette.
Satin stitch. Let me try another satin stitch for you guys to see the difference. Yeah, it's a nice machine. I like it. It's
lush.
Diamond stitch. Let's do diamond stitch. Julian said diamonds.
Diamonds are forever and ever. Like diamonds.
So it's gonna stop now. There's the diamond stitch.
You see?
Oh. There. after my
We are dog sitting again this weekend, so they will get me up and going. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, yeah, it's like having children though, isn't it, with dogs? But it's very rewarding.
Right. I'm going to do one more set diamond stitch, and then what I might do is do a couple of buttons with you all tonight, and I'm not going to put mine together yet because I want to do some more work on it.
That sewing machine looks a little too complicated. It really isn't.
It's not. I'm going to do a shoe design.
I like the satin stitch.
Yeah, they like block stitches.
Yeah, it's nice. Looks good. Very pretty. Your cushion's very pretty anyway. I like it.
Thank you.
I don't know. You've just got this knack of putting things together that just, I don't know what it is.
I think you have too.
Oh, I don't know. Mine's a bit boring, but I do love. I think that'd go lovely in your front room.
Yes, definitely. So there's my sort of piece at the moment. I'm going to do a couple of buttons, and then I'm going to sort of finish tonight's live by doing a couple of buttons with you all. So I'm not to do with buttons. Obviously, you need your button stitch. Trying to think what one it is now. So my button stitch is like a circle with two eyes. It looks a bit like an emoji. So I'm going to do button stitch, and I've got to put the button foot on, which for me...
Yes, they are both so much fun, but one is only a few months old, so it's like having 3 toddlers. Yeah.
Oh, cute. There's the button foot, and it's got a little M on it. And I bought some new buttons the other day when I was with Miss.
Yeah, you did. They're beautiful. Beautiful buttons.
New buttons on. So I'm going to show you my new buttons because I definitely want to put some of these on. And I'm just going to make them a feature on the cushion cover. Right. So these are my new buttons. So this little, I don't know whether you know this, Rhian, right? So this little container came from the pound shop. And it's a real weird container because the lid flips open. These are my new buttons, by the way. So I've got like funky clocks. I've got like polka dot buttons, wooden buttons. And because I've got the butterflies, I'm going to go with something like, I think I'm going to go with something like that. Like I say, I put a couple of buttons on. These clocks are really cool. Got all different kinds of clocks on them. I'm going to do, I think, 1, 2, no, I'm not going to do butterflies, I'm choosing the mines. I'm going to do 2 of them. Those are my buttons, those are going to be my buttons. So, these little cute little things, buttons, I've got like different sheep on them, and there's 4 different designs. No, that's the same design. Oh, there's the other design. I think she's so funky. I'm going to put her hair on. She's got a little pink wool-on coat. And I've got these ones. And I've got polka dot ones. And I've got wooden ones. And these ones that I did my Dresden plate on. 4 buttons, which are really cool. All different types of buttons. So those are my buttons I bought today. With that, I adore my buttons. And then the box, turn it upside down, the lid flips back over, and you've got like different sections in there. Really strange box, but anyway.
They're the cheap buttons.
It's the box.
You can send them to me if you want.
I know, Angie went. You can send them. Miss Rhian was with me, Mrs. G was with me when I bought them. Because we live approximately 10 minutes, if that, apart from each other. And ooh. I'm going to put my button here. I'm going to put my holes between the foot. And I'm going to make sure this in there. I'm going to put my needle down into the first hole. If it goes down this swimmingly, that's fine. Now that's not going, so I don't want to press start on my machine because that would wreck the needle. No, still not going. And again.
It is a great button tray, isn't it? Where'd you get that from? Poundland.
Poundland. 2, 3. And you count 10 times. 4. These are tricky to get on. 5. 6. I could press start, but for 7. For whatever reason, this keeps missing it. 8, 9, 10. Bring it up, bring it out, and then cut. There's your first button. That's your first button done. And you would sew it. And then I'm going to put the other one on, the wooden one on in a sec. Double tie it and cut it. And you've also got 2, go one at the back. Just snip that off. And there's my first button in. Now where did I put that second button? Second button, make sure your threads are on the back. Side where you want it, I'm just going to dot these round. They're not going in any particular order. And I'm going to put the second button here, and I might get away with pressing the machine for this. 1. And again. Come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go into quick. 9, 10. Stop. And your foot up. And you button across. Cut it. Tie it in the front. And there's your other button done. I'm going to put one more button on. And then I'm going to call it a day, guys. I'm going to keep adding to this. This isn't finished for me. Because I like to, I'm going to put some embellishments on, and I bought some really beautiful lace trim, which I will show you, but I won't sew it on tonight with you guys. Because like I say, with these type of projects, you can keep going and going and going and going. There's no stop.
Oh, bye, Nikki.
Bye,
Thanks
Nikki.
for dropping in.
Thanks for coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. And your foot up and your foot away. And cut. And then that is I'm going to tie this off. I'm going to show you how I've sewn it.
Bye, River.
Bye, River, sweetheart. Thank you for popping in. Cut it. Where is it on the back? There it is on the back. Oh. Right, so let me show you what it actually looks like. Okay, so I used my quilter's tape and it gave me a dead on 1/4 of an inch. And as you can see, I did do a little bit. So what I'm going to do off camera is take that in. I might even cut it off and take it in. But that's nothing. That's just like 2-minute job. So what I've done is I've sewn this, attached this to the piece at the top. And I've attached the second piece to the bottom. And when it gets sewn together, it will look a bit like this. A bit like Angie's. So there's my bottom piece. And when I cut this down, this will be my top piece. And then I've got my opening, which I can either put button on or I can leave as is. So that's going to be my back piece. And then all I have to do, once I've finished decorating and doing whatever I want to do the front, all I have to do is just sew up those 2 long lines. And then I've got my cushion. But I've got the back now already sewn to my front. So I don't have to sort of worry about it. The only thing I do have to amend is this side because it's a little bit too long. That's it. And then I've done some embroidery work. I've added some buttons. I might add some more buttons. I bought this lace yesterday, so I'm thinking of adding a little bit of that. But yeah, I've had great fun making this tonight. been one of those projects where it's been
beautiful, Colette. It's really gorgeous.
Thank you, Angie. Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna add some more, and I'm definitely gonna be working on it off camera, because I could add and add and add and add and add. I could, but these type of projects, it's not. There's so much you can do.
Yeah.
So much.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. The quilted tape gives you exactly 1/4 of an inch on the edges. That's what the quilter's tape does. And the pattern that I found this from to do the blocking, I know we all said that, even I said that the seam allowance was really wide, but I think it's got to
work out right.
For this pattern, I think it's got to be that wide for the pattern. I think if you did 1/4 of an inch, obviously your box would be bigger.
Yeah, and maybe over time it might sort of come apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that. I mean, it did seem a bit strange, I have to be honest with you, but it's how it's come out looks right, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's going to be my front piece. So I'm not going to do anything to that tonight with you guys, because, like I said, I'm going to carry on adding to it. But yeah, that's going to be my front, and then if I flicker over, you'll see the back again, which I haven't put together yet, as of yet, because I want to add more to it, and that's going to be my back. And the envelope bit is because it is.
Thank you, Fiona.
It's brilliant watching you both making your cushion covers. Thank you, Gillian, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you, Gillian.
Thank you, Fiona, sweetheart, for your beautiful for coming in, for your beautiful comments earlier. Thank you all for watching. Please check out those channels that I mentioned. Sarah, like I say, Sarah's hosting her challenge to the end of next Friday. I've still got
what's her channel? What's her channel called? Sarah's Shabby
Chic Corner.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I've still got my challenge going on. There's a challenge going on the group at the moment, which is Ange.
Huh?
What's our group called?
Country Creational Swaps on Facebook.
Yep, we've got a challenge going on there, and so I've been told that it's a brilliant challenge.
Yes, it is.
So I've been told. So, well, I'll go from what everybody said to me. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for all the lovely comments, the great feedback, the thumbs up we've been having all night long. Thank you so very much. It means a great deal to all of us, to both me and Angie. And I know Angie finished her cushion well before I was finishing showing you different things. But I will do a video on how I've done my coasters, definitely. And hopefully me and Angie will do separate videos on how we've done our dressing plates.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea
to do, because even though we've showed you the projects, we haven't actually showed the process on how to do it. So,
thank you for having me, Colette.
Thank you for being with me tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight. It's been a wonderful live. I've enjoyed every single minute of tonight's live. And I will catch up with you all next Friday at 9 p.m. UK time. If not, I'll catch you up on my live on Facebook, which will be on Sunday. So take care. Love to you all. Good night. God bless. And I will catch up with you all in our next video. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Angie, for your company tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
You. And I will say good night to you all. Good night. God bless.
Good night, ladies.
Bye for now, ladies.
Good night.
Bye.